5 pre-rolls today. Oh, yeah. One last time for a little while. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. Download the app today. Use the code JRVP for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app today and use the code JRVP for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Also want to shout out Hims. Through Hims, you can now get treated for ED without stepping outside your door. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/JRVP. That's HIMS.com/JRVP for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/JRVP. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Also want to thank Liquid Death. What is Liquid Death? Well, it might look like a beer or some crazy energy drink, but it's not. Go to liquiddeath.com/JRVP to check out all their healthy, infinitely recyclable beverages and find your closest retailer. That's liquiddeath.com/JRVP. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp. Take a moment, visit betterhelp.com/JRVP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRVP. And finally, your pet is part of your family. You want to do the best for them no matter what. To explore coverage with ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, visit ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. That's ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. Again, that's ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independent American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. Everyone wants in, Anthony. On the last JRVP for a while, in this very special episode, we break down eating mom as a garnish, the best things about Aaron, and what Anthony and I will do together during the JRVP break, all coming up in episode 250 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
Troopers, I've just been given new orders. Our superiors say the war's been canceled, and we can all go home. Bison is getting paid off for his crimes, and our friends who have died here will have died for nothing. But we can all go home. Meanwhile, ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up. But we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm going to get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me? I nailed it.
I don't know if we need to tape the rest of the episode. I know we have a lot of ads. Everyone wants in on episode 250, but I just feel like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go with you. That was stirring.
I nailed it. Nailed the speech. Look, I went to Oklahoma this last weekend, and I will not go back. The show was fine. It's one of those places where everyone I talked to thanked me profusely for coming there, and I understood why. It's a casino. It's the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. The venue itself was like kind of an airplane hangar kind of thing. Ton of people packed in there. Not great sound. Not my favorite. Within seconds of getting on stage, someone had a seizure in the audience.
Ooh.
And I did not understand what was happening for like 5 minutes. I think that they just can't hear me. So I'm like trying to get them to turn my mic up over and over again as people just scream at me. The guy was okay. Show was fun after that. Oklahoma is crazy, but I sat in my room and memorized the Jean-Claude Van Damme speech from Street Fighter. I was reading a Reddit thread. I was randomly on Reddit just going through, and it was a what are some great lines from bad movies. Like you'll be seeing a terrible movie and all of a sudden a great line comes up. And in this one, it was Bison's line, Raul Julia in his final performance, saying, you remember this day I destroyed your village and killed your family, but to me, it was a Tuesday. And that's an all-timer line. Yeah. To me, it was a Tuesday. And then someone else brought up the Jean-Claude Van Damme speech, and I thought it was so funny that I watched the clip, and then I start to memorize it. And I write it, I transcribe it, and I keep emailing it to myself at like 10 o'clock at night on like a Friday night in Oklahoma. I'm just emailing it myself, and it keeps on not going through. I can see it in my sent, and I can't find it, but I have it written down. I repeated it a million times. And then I get home, and on Sunday, my dad texts me, and he's like, I think you got hacked. Because I just kept getting this email. And I had accidentally, because my dad had the same name. He is like Anthony F. And I just kept getting the Jean-Claude Van Damme speech over and over again on a Friday night. I told my brother he was dying, but I was like, I have to come in here and nail it today. But I did. I think I pumped everyone up.
So motivated, so excited.
I saw that movie in the theater, and
so did I.
I feel like I was there again.
Yeah, I took my little brother to see it in the theater, and oh God, what a bad movie. But knowing now that Jean-Claude Van Damme was like coked out of his mind the whole time and like couldn't get it together, and then Raul Julia showed up dying of cancer. They didn't know. Oh. I mean, it's watching it again is really fun, and that speech, they must have cobbled it together from many, many takes. It is phenomenal.
And it shows you can be,
I can be
quite an actor, quite
yes.
a thespian if asked.
I mean, if I had been in that movie instead of Jean-Claude Van Damme, even though I was 16 years old at the time of its release, I think it would have been a lot better.
Look, we're not going anywhere. JRVP is coming back. But if for some reason something happens, life interferes, you never know. The legacy of your dad emailing you back that you think you were hacked will stay with me.
Trying to
forever.
Explain to my dad, I thought about sending him the clip. And I encourage people to take the clip of me saying it up top and put it next to the clip of Jean-Claude Van Damme. I do a little faster. I try to do it at his pace. It's no good for me. Okay, I'm more aggressive than JCVD, but I did in fact nail it.
You couldn't retweet that if someone sent that out on Twitter because you're gone, but I will.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You send it to me. I want to see that.
Have fun on Twitter. I'm barely on Instagram or TikTok, but I did celebrate Rummy's Gotcha Day yesterday. Yeah. 4 years to the day since I got Rummy. So I picked him up. I went and took him for a little walk around the Silver Lake Reservoir. Just got him outside. Gave him a bunch of treats. We had a good day. 4 years. 4 years since I got that little dude. It seems longer, to be honest. Because
really?
He's turning 5 in December. I got him at 6 months old. I feel like it's been 5 years. But when I got him, people were like, oh, it takes a while for them to get out of the puppy phase. He's going to be a handful. But wait like 4 years. And 4 years sounded insane to me. That I was like, maybe a year or two. And they'd look at me like kind of like, you're in for trouble. But now it's been 4 years, and I really do feel the calm dog of it all.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Unless he has to go to the vet.
Unless he has to go to the vet. The vet's a problem. But next time I'll know to give him a little more, dope him up a little more. And I think I just know with, friends, people coming over, that's a no-go. It's a no-go. But I'm fine with that.
I tried to develop a relationship with Rami, but he doesn't remember who the fuck I am.
You didn't try that hard. If you saw him on neutral ground,
I tried about as hard as you with the kids the last few years.
On neutral ground, you guys were fine. It's in my home. Things get a little weird, but I will be there more for your kids.
You don't need to be. It's fine.
They don't want anything to do with me. They think
that's
I'm fun.
Not true.
But they don't really. I come over and they come and say hi, and then they hide.
I mean, Walker would love to hang out. Ellis is reaching a point, certainly 12 years old, that she doesn't outwardly show as much enthusiasm for hanging out with the adults in her life. And that includes me. But I know deep inside she's a softie.
I want Ellis to get to the point, because when kids are kids, they think all adults are lame. At some point, she will get to the point in her life that she thinks we're cool, that she recognizes that even though we're adults, we're cool adults. But that's a few years off. If she gets there by 18, I'd be thrilled. Maybe it might be a college thing for her. Walker, I want to take Walker to a baseball game. Maybe 3 of us go and and check out a Dodgers game. That would be fun.
Emika's
Some
like,
time off.
what? I can't go watch my favorite baseball player
That's
in the
true.
world.
I can
She's
take
invited,
Emika
but you're
to bring
right.
her
We can
crush.
leave Ellis somewhere else because she's really not into it. She now brings books to live sporting events like the Dodgers game, and I allow it because I'm just like, I fought that battle, and then I was like, why?
Enjoy your
just
book.
Just let her have
Enjoy
it.
your book.
Well,
Just
it's
come
just
to the
annoying. You're
game.
paying a lot of money, and you're like, you want everyone to be having fun, but what
Sure,
can you
but
do?
that's
You can't
one
force
way
it.
to enjoy a baseball game. Is just sitting there reading a book. I wouldn't recommend it, but I would be okay if I took her to a game and she read the whole time. But yeah, I'd like to see you guys while I'm off. I have like
It's one of our questions.
I was doing my schedule, and I have almost a month now. I've got like 2 or 3 dates before I leave international in the next few weeks. I have like 2 weeks off, which I'm thrilled about. And then I was typing in the schedule for. I think we've announced all the dates except for India. I've got 3 dates in India coming right after Asia that I have not announced yet, but are definitely coming. I've got them in my book, and it's a lot.
Ticket sales okay in Asia and stuff?
I think it just opened up in Asia, so they're the lowest, but it's getting there. It's the kind of smaller venues that I'm doing in Europe. The Europe dates are almost all sold out, which is really nice. And Australia is almost sold out, I think. New Zealand, we will see what happens in there. I have gone ahead and asked for security while I'm in New Zealand. I don't ask for security when I'm touring. When I'm in a casino, yes. Casino, I don't go anywhere without security, but New Zealand, just in case.
Because of the shark party.
Because of the shark party. Because they're promoting me coming to New Zealand with shark party.
Oh no.
There's just kind of invites something that I'm like, just have a guy stand next to me to make sure, no one throws a balloon or something. But I'm very fired up to go international and very fired up to just be home. I've just been sleeping.
How is
I've been
the like
sleeping extra.
declenching situation?
It's good.
It
It's just
better.
it just I had not been able to sleep for like a year and a half. And lately I have just been focusing on getting as much sleep as I can, and that has been helping. I feel like a different person. So I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
No.
Sleeping is everything. It's like
It is everything.
there was a 2-year period where Walker couldn't sleep. And it wasn't as a baby, which is what really threw us for a loop. I mean, he wasn't a great sleeper as a baby, but no babies can sleep perfect. It was between when he was 3.5 and 5.5 or 6. And it was the worst 2.5 years of my life. Like, it completely changed my entire life. It was just like survival mode for those 2.5 years. And now I've been blessed to always, I thought it was my superpower to always be able to sleep like at any moment. Like if you told me to sleep, I almost always could within 20 minutes, any time of day, any time of year, and always slept great at night. I am now, as I get older and there's more things to think about and stuff, struggling a little bit more with that. And yeah, it changes your life. You like that story?
It's such a boring way to say what you said. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, sleep is important. Sleep and exercise and nutrition.
Nutrition's good.
I think we can all agree that you got to get nutrition in there. Maybe this isn't the last episode. Maybe we do 251 and then skedaddle. I got nothing to do. I will say I was annoyed that we had to do this on a Monday this week because of Greg's schedule. It was like the last episode, okay, and then you got to do it a day early. I would be doing something else right now. But
you're
tomorrow,
welcome, because I know
I'll be
you're
thrilled.
free. Usually your Tuesday nights are free. Walker is singing and dancing and singing Sherry Baby on stage at his school as part of their play. It's him and three other friends that are singing the whole song. I saw a little
The Four Seasons, obviously.
Yeah, Four Seasons, Frankie Valli.
Thank you, Ryan.
And I saw a little clip of the dress rehearsal today, and it is delightful. And if you think I'm missing that for our regular Tuesday taping, you're wrong.
And that was the week. And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes?
Rolling. Did we get any notes?
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 I think I like the original of that one.
Okay.
I like having something new every now and again, but I think I like the original. Did we get any notes? We got some notes, actually. Greg's going to talk about something in a second. I just want to say one last time that we will be back. I know people have said, I know anything can happen. And again, anything can happen in the next couple of months. I would assume I would be back. The special will come out on a streaming service or YouTube or a thing that you've got to pay for. I would like to find a way. Someone's got to invent a way that lets fans buy directly from the artist, buy the special directly from me, and then it keeps charging you. Like it keeps charging you forever afterwards. Someone's got to think of, Aaron, put some numbers together, kick it around, see if we can come up with a new thing, because I would do that thing.
It's like a monthly fee just to keep it or to be lucky enough to have watched it at some point.
Monthly, you're thinking small. I'm thinking like a weekly, like maybe like an every night at midnight sort of thing to get to ding you, to get that money coming in. But we will be back. There's no way in hell I would ever let JRVP, the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project,
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
go out like a normal podcast would, where they would be like, oh, we're going to take some time, we're going to figure it out, and then just never do it again. I get how that's easy. I get how that's doable. We are not going to do that. I guarantee we come back, if not in October, in November for sure, to talk about the special. I assume that we would just keep it going uninterrupted from there. And I can promise you that you will know when this show is finally over because you will go to listen to an episode and it will just be like one song over and over again. Or it'll just be like the sound of like Aaron and his wife sleeping. And like them just kind of like breathing in their sleep. And that will be it. And then you'll know it's done. But it will not be this. This is just a tease. We're just kind of going to touch your crotch. And then we're going to walk away. And listen, you might get a unannounced surprise episodes.
Hey now.
If I come back and I'm in between something crazy happens, we might just jump on, no ads, and do an episode for you and have it just come out. That's the relationship I'd like to have with this podcast. And I think it'd be fun for the fans, fun for me and Greg. Who knows? Maybe we'll just make an announcement when we know we're definitely coming back. Probably it will just show up in your feed. I think that's the most fun way is we just come and do it. And all of a sudden you guys are like, oh, fuck. My reason for living is back. Now, Greg, you had some did we get any notes?
It's a good sign for our future. Like you already were throwing out, you wanted me to have some, let's think about having ideas of mixing it up maybe when we're back. It's exciting. You got the juices flowing. I did have something. We had the listener of the week bracket idea. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. That one of our listeners, Joe Bullard, had an idea that he was going to put together an entire bracket of all the listeners of the week ever. Now, he ran into an issue that I think there was 67 or 68, some weird number that it didn't fit perfectly into 64, and he didn't want to rule anyone out. And so he made a crazy convoluted bracket, and it's awesome. And he sent it to us, and we're going to put the link to it in our show notes. You know how we put the ad information in our show notes? We'll put the link to it so you guys can look at the Listener of the Week bracket, and that Joe Bullard's work will not go unrewarded. But we're not going to do the bracket. I mean, we were thinking about it, and it was like so confusing. And he even made a very helpful list of like what it was each time. Like he gave us a primer to try to remember what each listener of the week won the award for. And so he explained it, and that's in a whole separate page. But it's like, I can't remember this stuff. And it would take us maybe 5 months to go through this entire bracket. So maybe we'll somehow attack it once for a special episode, but we're not ready for that right now. We're not. So let's give Joe Bullard the listener of the week, of the year, of a lifetime championship. Let's go, Joe Bullard. You are our listener of the week.
Now to the JRVP listener of the week. Now the JRVP listener of the week. The JRVP listener of the week.
Only problem is it's not Greg's to give.
You're the one that prompted me to give it. I wasn't going to. I was waiting for you to jump in.
I knew you were about to do.
I wasn't going to. I was waiting for you to jump in.
I knew you were about to do. I'm going to get on my boat. I'm going upriver. Upriver's so funny. And that was, did we get any notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
And now it's time for
Ad copy.
All right. It's Liquid Death time. You know what is Liquid Death? You might be wondering. It looks like a beer. It looks like an energy drink. It's not. Liquid Death is something we've been drinking at All Things Comedy since the day we showed up in the Burbank studios. It's always in the fridge. I love me some Liquid Death. It's a healthy beverage brand that makes mountain spring water, low sugar soda, and low sugar iced teas. You want the sparkling water? They got that. You want it with a little flavor in it? They got that. You know what I like? I just like the water. It's good tasting water. Something about drinking cold water out of a cold can that says Liquid Death on it. It just makes me feel like a man.
As it should.
Look, Liquid Death will brutally murder your thirst. And their infinitely recyclable cans are help bringing death to single-use plastic bottles. So
It'll fucking hold your thirst down and then take its thumbs and just jab it into its eyes until it screams and its skull explodes.
look, aluminum is infinitely recyclable. Plastic's not, and they're trying to get rid of that plastic. Love that about Liquid Death. You can get free shipping at Liquid Death's Mountain Water for their flavored sparkling and their iced tea 8-packs with Amazon Prime, or grab a can or a case at your local 7-Eleven, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, or on Instacart. Go to liquiddeath.com/JRVP to check out all their healthy, infinitely recyclable beverages and find your closest retailer. That's liquiddeath.com/JRVP. liquiddeath.com/JRVP. After having that water, maybe use it to down a little ED treatment. Little hymns. You know,
Cross promotion.
some pills. If you're sick of the one-size-fits-all method that especially comes with your ED treatment, well, good news. You've got options with him. You got all sorts of options. Changing men's healthcare by providing access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. So they have chewable hard mints. That's an option. They have brand-name treatments like Viagra, or they have generic alternatives for up to 95% cheaper. It's a very easy process. It's all online. No uncomfortable doctor's visits. And you choose what process you think works for you. We've talked about ED being a problem for young men, for middle-aged men, for older men. If it's getting you down, it's time to join the hundreds of thousands of trusted HIM subscribers. Get treated. You'll feel better. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/JRVP. That's HIMS.com/JRVP for your personalized ED treatment. hims.com/JRVP. Hard mints are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Okay, you drink the water, have a little hymns, and then watch the game and enjoy it a little more with Prize Picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. We got the NBA Finals coming up. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you're locked in. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has that every week. You can lower selected player stat projections on Tuesdays, which helps your chances of winning, kind of boosts them to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Friday. So you just check out kind of which day you kind of like the promotion. It's the #1 fantasy sports app in America with over 5 million members. They have daily action. You can get in on it with your friends, be part of the community. The finals means more on Prize Picks. So because of the finals, you can do star players. You can get boosted payouts on selected stars you won't find anywhere else. I'm loving my Celtics. I'm loving Derek White. I'm loving Porzingis to come back here and come strong in the playoffs. It's not just a revenge finals, Anthony, for Kyrie Irving. How about Porzingis? Like Luka kind of kicked him off the island. He's like, oh, I didn't really like this guy on my team. He got him out. He made a power play. It's Porzingis revenge time. You excited about that? Look, you can also do the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Brianna Stewart. You can win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out as well. Download the app today. Use the code JRVP for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, you got to download Prize Picks, Download the app. You use the code JRVP. You get your first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
And that was.
Ad copy.
You know what? Now it's time to take it down to a place that not only while we're airing episodes, but in perpetuity, emails are a thing. It's Email Corner.
And now it's time to take it down to a place that's never thriving. We have given it water, we've given it air, we've had sex with it repeatedly. It's Email Corner.
Guys, emails corners, we give them, we send them, we read them. JRVP Junior Vice President at gmail.com. We're not going to close it down during a time off. You can send emails. No one's going to look at them until we come back. I wouldn't make Miss Kim do that. But you can send things out. Maybe some lonely night, Greg and I get together in a rainstorm and we go through the emails and we look and see who you are and what you do and what you say. Because we care. Because emails are a thing. Greg went hog wild this week and picked so many emails. Let's see how many emails we have. Aaron did say, I've got to be out of here in 2 hours when we sat down. As if we would ever do a 2-hour podcast.
I mean, it's 250. Huh?
We have a lot of emails this week, but I thought, we got to give the listeners something, a little extra juice. And we had so many great ones. But yeah, I would not email the address because we have so many left over from before already. Save your emails. Unless you're just feeling like it'll help you mentally to just send your pain out.
If you got to
into the
call my voicemail just to hear me say, leave a message, you know what I mean? If that gets you through this, do your thing.
Okay, so our first one.
Send us a speech from Street Fighter.
Yeah, that would be great. Kai,
There you go.
that would have been a good idea if we had an episode 251 next week, but we don't.
But I just nailed it. Find a different movie
Sure.
and a different speech. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, made 5 or 6 movies.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Pick one of the other 5 or 6. But I got Street Fighter on lock.
Bloodsport, is that one of them?
Bloodsport was one of them.
Time Cop.
Time Cop was one of them.
Yep.
One of his highest grossing. Was as big as opening weekend. People thought he was going to be the next Schwarzenegger after Time Cop, and it did not go that way.
So Kai from Nanaimo, BC, in Canada, asked a question which a number of our listeners asked. Will you guys be hanging out over the break? Do you consider this a break from the pod or a break from each other? I think Anthony is slightly underwhelmed with the tour passing. I don't know what he means there. I hope it drives him to make his next trip around the sun more risky in regards to comedy. Don't quit on us. The second part I didn't really understand. The first part was what I wanted to
Yeah, I don't know what
address.
that means, to make my trip more risky, or do you think my comedy's gotten soft? I don't know what you're trying to say.
I think
to
he's
me.
saying maybe you were getting bored with the tour, but that was more what you talked about last week, which is at this point in the tour after you've already taped the special, the point is to be sick of it and ready to roll.
Yes.
I think that's what he's referring
It's
to.
a creative thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to writing new stuff. This is definitely not a break from each other. I might see Greg more in the time off if I was not leaving the country. I would see him, but I guarantee I will see him throughout this. And I think I've been to your new house, but I don't think not when the kids have been there. I need to come by and see everybody. I really haven't been to Greg's neighborhood in 5 years. So I think I will definitely see Greg. I will see the family during this time off. I will have, some time to do something. For the last year and a half, I've had no time to do anything other than just try to recover for a couple of days. So now that I'm home, I'm sure I'll see Greg.
Yeah, I won't see you weekly, so it won't literally be more, but we will hang out more outside the show, which this had sort of replaced. In fact,
Yes.
we're going to hang out nonstop. I'm sleeping over
24/7.
tonight.
Great. Rami's psyched. Rami's pumped.
Me and Rami are going to connect. You're going to babysit more.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to just be over the house, the pull-out couch in the garage.
If I lived in your neighborhood, I would babysit all the time. If you guys ever
We
hey,
do
I need to
live
get
pretty
out,
far away.
let me just come over. I'll sit and read a book on the couch while you guys are gone. I would happily do that for you guys, but it's an hour drive. But no, I would like to come and I guarantee before we come back with the podcast, we'll go out to dinner and have a fun brainstorming session like we used to do.
Yeah. So that's your answer, Kai. And I'm excited about that. In break, in terms of the show, I think it'll just make us hungrier when we're back. Our next one's from Lucy. She asks us, including Miss Kim, she says, I'm in a lesbian relationship. My girlfriend was not out to her family before, but she told them last week and it did not go well. They don't understand, quote, why she's making this choice when she has so many other things going on, which is a bizarre way to address it, and asked if, quote, she thought about them when she made this decision. They don't want us to be together. It's been really tough for both of us. The family's coming to visit in July. They do want to meet her. I'm not sure if I should agree to meet them or not. I feel like there's too much pressure on me to get them to like me. I don't want them to think poorly, though, but I also don't want to see them. Should I meet them?
I don't know. Greg and I haven't talked about our answers before the pod. I've got an answer. I think absolutely you meet them and you put your best foot forward because you are now representing lesbians to her parents. You know, her parents are small people. They're a little confused. They're like, we want our kids to be quote unquote normal. They don't know anything about the lesbian world. They're just bringing it to them and they're confused. They want to meet you. They're going to just judge all lesbians based on you. And there are two kinds of lesbians.
Don't put that pressure on them. I don't like that.
No,
as the reason.
It gets easier. There are two
like
kinds of lesbians. There's good posture lesbians and bad posture lesbians. Good posture lesbians are the most confident people I've ever met in my life. They're always like former athletes. They look like they could take you apart any moment. They are confident as can be. And they're like, oh, maybe I should go back in time and become a lesbian because they're so cool. And then there's bad posture lesbians who like hang out in the back of comic book stores and don't look at you over their glasses and have their hair long and don't want to be looked at. I get it. No judgments. But if the parents meet a good posture lesbian, they're going to be more accepting of their daughter. I get that nobody wants to meet the other's parents, but you have a chance here to do something great. You have a chance here to take your boat upriver, is what I'm saying. I get if you just throw your hands up and say, I'm not doing this when they leave, we'll go back to a relationship, but you can change their lives just by being a badass, just by pulling your shoulders back, looking them in the eye, and not being weird, even though they're weird. They're the weird ones. Go show them how cool you are, and they will be more accepting of their daughter. That is my take on this. Be a good posture lesbian.
Okay, I have an answer for that, but I couldn't help but personalize this and just thought, like, if we were lesbians, you're the good posture lesbian and I'm the bad posture lesbian.
I don't know. I feel like I present as a good posture lesbian, but behind the scenes, I'm a bad posture lesbian. I'm faking it. I'm faking the posture.
I just have bad posture. I do think you need to meet them, and it has nothing to do with what Anthony's saying in my mind about representing lesbian. That's a great thing. Like, that's great for them, but you don't need to do it for them. You just need to do it because that's what a cool person does, an adult does, and let them deal with if they're however they're going to act. That's up to them, but you don't need to do anything but just be yourself. You're proud of this relationship. It sounds like you love your girlfriend and you got nothing to be ashamed of, and you're going to go through your whole life. You don't need to back down or avoid people that are coming at you for just being yourself. Now, if it doesn't go well, maybe you don't end up meeting them twice. If they're not cool, like, fuck them, but you put on a good show, a good face of it, and be cool, because that's what you are. You are cool.
Be so cool. If it goes badly, you don't even notice it. The next time you get to meet them, you're like, hey, it went great last time, right? Because everything goes great for you. You're not an Ellen. You're a Porsche.
Ooh, I love that. Lucy also said she hopes we have a relaxing break and looks forward to episode 251. We got a lot of supportive statements that just had a similar tone, saying, like, enjoy your break. We're looking forward to you coming back. And Lucy, you're the best. Brittany, okay, this one hit me pretty hard. It's a little serious. Hesitated sending this, Brittany says, because I doubt you'd want a bummer of a section in email corner for the last episode, but it's entirely possible it's the last chance I'll get, so fuck it, why not? I was recently diagnosed with a terminal illness. The prognosis is not good. Treatment would only futilely lower my quality of life and create more stress for me and those I love. I've accepted this is the last chapter and I want to make the most of it while I can. And knowing that the end is imminent in my mind, it's become a no-holds-barred kind of scenario in terms of experiences I want to have, including taking risks, i.e. skydiving and doing ecstasy, and maybe some other drugs are definitely on my list. What's the worst-case scenario? It kills me, already going to happen. I do intend to spend as much time with my loved ones as possible, but I wanted to ask, if you were told your time is extremely limited, what are some things you would do, especially the riskier options? Thank you for your podcast and your comedy. I've enjoyed them so much, and I am grateful to have them have existed in the same time frame as you. May you be well, Brittany.
Well, Brittany, that's heavy. It sounds like you're at peace with this. Congratulations. You've like gone through the other side. I'm sorry for your troubles. But this is something I have also totally thought about. What I would do if you were given let's say a month. You're given a month to live. I think that's a gift, as opposed to just getting hit by a bus and not knowing. Like knowing you have this month to say goodbye to your loved ones, spend more time with your friends. I like the idea of trying drugs if you haven't done drugs. I like the idea of like having a party with all your friends. And you don't have to tell everyone that this is goodbye. Only you know it's goodbye. They're just having a fun party. I think that would be cool. Say hi to your family. When it comes to experiences you want to have, I don't think of skydiving. I don't think of like a three-way. I don't think of like the things people would normally think of. I think that you want to like be present and like kind of soak up your life in the moment. And I think of solitude for that. I think of going to a beach, going to like a beautiful beach, a beautiful mountain somewhere where like a tourist kind of thing of like, you want to see the eight wonders of the world, but you can kind of just take a moment, be by yourself and think about your life and what comes next. That's what I would gravitate towards in terms of experiences. Get the human connections out there and then just kind of take a moment by yourself to be present and sum up what you've been doing on this earth. Going up rivers.
Yeah, this hit me. Thank you, Brittany, for emailing us. It means a lot that you listen, that email, that it means something to you. I mean, to me, it sounds like you have a little bit of runway here, like some time. It's hard to know how much, but for me, it just would be not much more than spend time with those you love. I mean, time to me is everything as you get older. And I think about this sort of question a lot in life and death and what's important. And you just, as you get older, you really try to eliminate any time spending any stuff that you don't want to do or that doesn't matter. And so for you, it would have to be, I imagine, spending time with those love. I love the party idea, whether they know or not, because who knows. You also mentioned skydiving, Brittany. Like, I would want to do that. That is one thing I've always wanted to skydive. I would want to just go skydive, have a day. Like, it depends on your health, but traveling, with what you can, if you can. If there's anywhere, obviously, that you would want to see. And I'm rereading The Moviegoer lately by Walker Percy. I named my son after him. And one of the things he says in there, which I think is true, and at least I feel this way, is that sometimes you feel the most alive when things are the worst. He's also written about how, like, when a hurricane is coming in New Orleans, you always feel a little extra alive, like that day before. And there is something to that. And so I think you probably are feeling life in a way that we can't really understand. And to Anthony's point, like, that is a gift, and just do whatever the fuck you want with it. Embrace it as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our next question is another long one. It's from Jay Turner. He appreciates you. He said, one of the most important things in life is to know when to say when. It makes me happy that we're taking some time for ourselves, and that he thinks you're setting a good example to honor limits and acknowledge it, and he's happy for you as a fan. Here's the question. Totally separate, have you ever completely forgotten, Anthony, where you are in your set while on stage? And is the standard fixed to stall while you concentrate to get your bearings? And what do you focus on in that moment?
I have a couple times I've forgotten a word. Like, I'm in a story and I'm like, wait, how do I say this next sentence? And I can stumble through it. I'll just be like, well, something like this. And the audience can kind of mark that something happened, but it doesn't affect the final joke. And then they're over it. One time I remember I have a joke about Sigmund Freud. and I was going to say, I was about to do the joke, and I forgot the name Sigmund Freud. Like, I knew the joke, I knew everything I had to say, but I could not remember who it was. And Liz was with me. It was at a club in Oklahoma. And she was near the stage, and I just walked over to her, and I was like, what's the name of the guy? And she was like, what? She had no idea what I was doing, didn't realize I had missed, and then finally figured it out, and I walked over and calmly did it. Like, I'm good enough as a performer that even if I totally froze, it's not going to be for more than a couple seconds, and then I'll have a joke about freezing. That, like, the audience is in good hands. It happens. I've never just forgotten where I was. I've forgotten what's next. I've repeated a joke maybe 3 times in my life. And the audience catches me, we laugh about it, and I move on. But it's not a fear. It's something that happens to me in dreams where I do stand-up all the time, and that's horrifying. But it's never really happened to me in person.
I mean, it's happened to me all the time on podcasts a little bit, but more I'm thinking about like live TV things where you completely forget what the fuck's supposed to happen next. But you learn pretty easily to just like keep talking and just keep saying words about sports, and eventually you find your way, or you don't, and it doesn't matter. You just figure out something
Repeat
else.
yourself. Just you don't say I don't know what I'm doing. You don't totally panic. You just kind of keep on going until the moment's over. That's how pros do it. Everybody fucks up. Professionals know how to fuck up with like a minimum of disturbance.
Jay also said you're my favorite living comedian by far, and thank you so fucking much in capital letters. And PPS, Greg, you rock. So whenever there's nice compliments, you're more likely to get on the show. I love that.
I'll say thank you, but there's not a dead comic in the history of stand-up who can hold my fucking jaw.
Our next one is from Natalie. She asked me, what did I do with Seaweed's body? And we do have Seaweed in the background here. Shout out to paintyourlife.com. No longer a sponsor. Don't care. Just love that painting.
I don't know if there's still round.
She asked, what did I do with the body? Did I dig a pit or bring it to a vet? And also, how do you sleep at night? Which made me laugh, but also was the answer to the question. Seaweed's body is under my bed. It is like in the mattress. You can kind of feel it. It's like that little pebble, but I want to keep her close to me. So there is a smell for sure. Emeka is always a little curious, but it is under the mattress of my bed.
I would think with a turtle, a tortoise or turtle?
It's a turtle.
It was a
Nori
was
is a
turtle.
tortie.
Okay.
I mean, a tortoise. And there's a big difference. They crawl around. They're outside. They're not in water. Seaweed was a turtle.
Seaweed's a turtle. If it dies, wouldn't you just take the shell? Like let it decompose, bury it, and then just bring the shell out, and the shell is what you remember it by.
So what, you'd scrape out the body with what?
I would probably just
tool?
put it in some sort of like liquid and let it, but like this shell is forever. I wouldn't care about the skeleton or anything. I certainly wouldn't put the whole corpse under my bed. But
Under the bed. Not in the bed, but like under the mattress.
Not
In
in
the
between-
bed would be weird.
I would think in between mattresses would be the way to go.
Yeah. Like under the mattress, but over the
Box spring.
Box spring. Next question's from Kevin Beard. He asks, after a listener said they'd be worried that Aaron was dangerously close to not yes-anding Anthony anymore after airing a pretty spicy episode, he asked to know, Aaron, this is for you. What moment sticks out in your mind during your time producing JRVP as the time you were most close to not yes-anding Anthony?
Well, there was definitely the headline about the nurse who was murdering newborn babies that Anthony gave Listener of the Week. That one I was pretty quiet on, and I believe so was Greg.
Yeah, I've definitely thrown you some curveballs. Where like, how are you going to yes and this? You're good at it. I think occasionally I catch you off guard.
Yeah.
That you're like you're not stunned by the question. You're stunned by that I asked you a question. So it's not like it's tough for you to yes and because you're like, 2 sips into a Dr. Pepper back there. And
All right, there one time I had a full cookie in my mouth.
yeah, I can't get to the mic. But I don't know if I've ever I remember trying to get you to explain Israel and Palestine to us, and you couldn't do that.
I tried.
Yeah, Kevin asked, if there were any that were offensive and, different things like that.
I don't think I've ever offended Aaron. I've definitely put him on the spot in ways where he has just been like, it's diplomatic for me just to kind of stumble around until Anthony moves on.
There was also a ask what quip Anthony's made that made you laugh the hardest. I don't want to put you on the spot here if you don't have an answer for that, but he thanks you.
I
for producing.
don't, but it's the funniest thing to me is when Anthony makes himself laugh.
Yeah.
That's the best when Anthony loses.
If I had to answer, the hardest I think I've ever made Aaron laugh was that time I did the ad for Tommy John about forcibly taking my dad's pants off. and then rolling the Tommy John's up his leg. That's the hardest I've ever heard.
That is 100% it.
That's a great.
It's hard for me to remember these things because I do so many podcasts, but
That's
that
amazing.
was-
I remember
that made
every
me-
laugh I've ever put on someone's face. Every smile.
Well, they also ask another question. I just thought it'd be nice to give Aaron as we take a break from Aaron because we probably won't see Aaron in this break.
Definitely not seeing Aaron on the break. I can't think of how many people I'd have to run through for an extra ticket to a game before I call Aaron.
They asked, what's the 3 best things that each of us like about Aaron? So from the question, sneaky, maybe it's not sneaky great, but sneaky great, yes, Ander. I mean, great improv, great, really added a lot to the show. With that, I had to take some lessons from him. He's the same guy every week. You know what you're going to get with Aaron. Love that. He's a calming presence on this podcast. And, a hell of a softball player. That was 4 things.
That's a lot. I mean, you named like 10 things. I would say a total pro, like absolute professional, which I really, look for in people I work with, obviously, but in people that I know too. If I know you're like really good at your job, even if we don't work together, I respect you for that. Not everyone's like that. I would say that he is a good dude. Good dad, good husband, like good guy. He's not like a piece of shit. He's not like, hey guys, let's get fucked up and go off and he's never one of those guys. And he's never really trying to be on the show. I can draw him out.
Yeah.
But it's not like, hey guys, I thought of an idea for this week. I don't ever hear shit like that from you.
Yeah.
And you're always like, hey, I went back through and edited the pod. You missed something and I cleaned it up for you.
Sure.
You're always doing that.
Yeah, that always happens.
Yeah.
All right, last one is from a very special emailer. His name is Michael Cordell. I never heard from this man before, but he is the guy who created the recommendation station site. The website is jrvprecommendationstation.com. Is that it? Yeah. That's the website, which is blocked on my work computer because it says it's in the pornography category. It's not true. There's nothing on there. But he just wanted to drop a note and said thank you, and it got him through some tough times. I looked at his Twitter account. He's a VP now. He's come through the other end, and he's doing well in life. But he also wanted to thank us for all the recommendations that opened up his world to great literature. He really loved Trust from last year that I recommended, Chain Gang All-Stars, and Beasting. And he said he was glad we're taking a break, but he hopes to keep up on the recommendations while he's gone. So he's going to follow me on Goodreads, although it's tricky. I wouldn't recommend every single thing I read there. But look, let's say anything 4 stars and above, that counts. And he was going to update the site in the meantime. If you ever wanted to let him know what you're recommending, he would update it. And if not, the site is there as a nice resource. So thank you to Michael Cordell on Instagram. He's on Twitter as well. I followed him today and sent him a note just saying thanks for all the work you've done for us for no pay over the year. jrvprecommendationstation.com.
You know what? I'm going to make Michael the JRVP Listener of the Week.
I'll tell you right now, the JRVP Listener of the Week. Now the JRVP Listener of the Week. The JRVP Listener of the Week.
Oof,
You know what I might do?
that's tough.
I might.
It's tough for Joe Bullard out there.
The only.
It's got taken from him.
The only social media I have really is Instagram. I don't even make posts, but I can do stories. Maybe I'll take a picture of the books I'm reading and just put them in my stories. I do a lot of Kindle. Maybe I'll try to do that and just let people know because I will be tearing through shit while I'm on tour. And maybe I'll let you know that way. Otherwise, I'll save them up for when we come back. But I think I might read more books this year than I've ever read before. I'm on pace, and that is considering one of those bitches was Brothers Karamazov. I've been on a goddamn.
The same is true for me. I don't know why or what that is, but the same is true for me. And so yeah, we'll be back by the end of the year. We can have our little year-end list too, which will catch us up.
And now it's time for, and that was, Email Corner.
And that was Email Corner. And that was Email Corner. Be a thing.
Guys, emails are a thing. That's never going to change. Mom and Dad love you very much. And now it's time for
Ad copy.
That's right. It's ad copy. It's time to remind you that this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Look, when life goes so fast, it's important to take a moment to celebrate your wins and make adjustments for the rest of your year. Therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. It is sneaking up on me. We're halfway through here, just about for the year. We're taking a break, and you kind of get into the mix of the year, and maybe you're not taking stock with if you're happy in your life, if you feel like you're being fair, if you're setting those boundaries that we talked about earlier, whether or not you've been in therapy personally. Look, like, it's worth giving a try, whether you've done it before or not. With BetterHelp, you can have an online consultation. If you're thinking of it, BetterHelp is convenient, it's flexible, it's suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. You know what I've never heard, Anthony, from anyone that's been in therapy
What's
or
that?
tried therapy, that like, oh, that was a bad idea. No, like, it helps people, and people feel good about it afterwards.
That's right.
Take a moment, visit BetterHelp.com/JRVP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRVP. Will empower you to be the best version of yourself. Again, BetterHelp.com/JRVP to get 10% off your first month. 4 years. 4 years of Rummy. I mean, Rummy is the only being cute enough to get you to inspire you to like send out Instagram posts like you did.
Rummy, I mean, listen, Rummy's torn up my floors, my hardwood floors that I had put in my condo when I got in there. And I wish I had never put in new floors, but I did. But I look at around all the scratches, and I still love him just as much. And I would do anything for him. I had a trainer come today to try to help train him to get his nails cut. It's been months of this, and his nails are still long and still ripping up my floors.
This episode is sponsored by ASPCA Pet Insurance.com. You can go to ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. It's the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. In today's world, we insure a lot, from cars and homes to cell phones and even travel plans. But what about insurance for your cat or your dog? With ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you to help your pet get the care they may need. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are. Because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it. It's simple. You use their app to submit a claim, and you receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account. To explore coverage, visit ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. That's ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. Again, that's ASPCAPetInsurance.com/JRVP. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance.
And that was.
Ad copy.
Let's get to headlines, Aaron.
Oh yeah, get to headlines.
Let's get to the
Yeah, I'm excited for these headlines. Oh yeah, headlines.
Let's get to the
Got a little too sloppy on
Oh
time.
yeah.
We're going to start on a story. Really, we've had a kick of stories lately, Anthony, about these cops getting fired or arrested for stupid reasons. But we may have found the dumbest cop out there. It's a San Diego cop who had to quit recently, got fired recently after arresting a woman for stealing a car. As he was driving the woman after arresting her, she told him that she was down to fuck right now. We have a video clip, an audio clip that we're going to listen to of what happened when she told him that.
Don't say that right now. No, I said don't
Okay, so everything was being recorded. He turns the camera off, gets in the back seat, is with her for about 20 minutes to an hour, and then proceeds to lock them both in the back seat before having to call another cop for help to get him out of the car.
Love it. Love that his name is Officer Hare. That's very funny. If you're watching on the YouTube, Officer Hare is his name in the transcript. Listen, we know how I feel about police officers and how there's some good cops and most of them are not. And I just finished reading a book called The Choir Boys about like cops just being total like jagoffs and idiots and fucking around with each other. And I think this is that case. I love that this guy was so unpopular in the department that he did not have a friend he could call to get him out of this without incident. You would think as a police officer driving by yourself, you would have at least one friend you could say, hey, let me out of the back of this cop car. I just fucked a car thief. And the fact that he did not, and that where he called someone and they were like, they told everyone and they were around there taking pictures of the two of them and then got busted. That's what I would believe.
They don't even have to be another cop. They could just be a normal person. That handle opens from the outside.
If you saw if you saw a normal
I
person,
think he somehow was locked in some. I don't know.
he was in an alley somewhere. There wasn't like people were walking by and he could be like, "Hey, Aaron, come let me out of the back of this car." And if you did walk by a cop car and the cop was motioning to let him out of the back, I wouldn't believe him.
No.
I'd be like, "You're a criminal. You got arrested for impersonating a cop. It's stolen valor." I would not let them out. I think this is very funny. I wonder what happens to the woman. Does she now get off for stealing the car? Does she now a prostitute? Like, does she get busted? Officer Hare, you're going to have to find somewhere else to comb yourself.
The video was crazy. There's also a video, the body cam video of the police officer opening the car door to get him out of the car at 2:30 in the morning. And that is like the ultimate walk of shame. He didn't give any answer. They were like, why do you need to get out of your car? Why do we need to let you out? And he was just like, just come here. It's embarrassing. And then he went over there. And yeah, that other cop did not have any love for him, apparently. And he taped it. And the guy just scurried out. And then they show the woman who's kind of scantily clad, almost like she was ready for this moment. It sucks for her, though, too, because I got to assume she gave it up and like she's not getting she's not getting the trade-off.
She got no perks out of this. I would think the worst part for the cop, for Officer Hare, was having to sit in the back of the car with this woman for half an hour waiting for the cops to come.
Yes.
'Cause
An hour. They said it was an hour after he called till someone showed up because it was like 3:30 in the morning in a random neighborhood, like in a suburb.
Yeah, she was mad. She was mad the whole time. I'm surprised she didn't just say he raped me and have that be the end of it. I think then she gets off on everything. That's what you should do.
How dumb do you have to be, though, to say that don't say anything, the camera's on? Like, at that point, you're already in trouble. And now he did not foresee getting stuck in the back seat, obviously, and then he would have been fine. Apparently, this sort of thing happens maybe more than I realize. But still, it's pretty stupid.
It happens a lot. It's very stupid. Take her somewhere else to fuck her. You don't have to fuck her in the back seat. Throw her up against the wall, Officer Hare.
South Korea's military confirmed this week that North Korea had sent 260 feces-filled balloons across the border last week in quite a confusing message and attack. I love this.
This is why we can't take North Korea seriously. I know they have nuclear weapons and they're fucking nuts and everything and they're crazy, but we can't take them seriously because of shit like this. Literally shit like this. How many balloons?
260.
260 is a funny number. You know, they probably wanted 300 and then a bunch of them popped and they were like, fuck it, we'll just go 260. I assume they floated over South Korea and then popped and it was just shit was falling down?
Well, no, they landed like all over the country. They went as far as Seoul, but they went through all the different parts of the country, and I looked and they were everywhere. So I think some burst, and we've got some pictures here, but most of them just landed. They have trash. Some of them have trash in them. Most of them have shit. There's some with some propaganda too. Those are the non-shit ones. I don't know if all 260 had shit, but some had shit.
I love the idea of opening up, finding a balloon, opening it up, and like the shit, and be like, is there anything written in there? Dig around in there, see if there's anything about the government.
Here's one that's clearly just shit. That's in the air. It's hilarious.
I thought that this was shit in the balloon.
No.
Which is different because a worse prank than having a balloon full of shit fall on you would be having to blow up a balloon and put shit into it. I think it would be so terrible. But this was, they filled them with helium, attached them to things.
Attach them to bags of shit instead of putting the shit inside the balloon.
I just like whoever's idea this was. Unless it was like Kim Jong-un's. If it was his like second in command, just being like, just wait until they find all that shit and propaganda tomorrow. They're going to find so much shit. They're not going to know. They keep thinking it's coming from below. It's coming from above now. It's North Korean shit. And was it people shit? That's important. Is it people shit? If it's people shit, I give them more props.
And did they get it from like prisoners, like war criminals or something? Like who did they get the shit from? Or is it just like Rick
shit
in the office? Hey,
yeah,
we need your shit the rest of the week. We need it for this balloon thing.
Maybe this is like a diplomatic. Maybe this is them reaching out an olive branch and they just don't know what they're doing. That they're like they're like hoping every day that they get some shit back from South Korea.
So I had to check to make sure this wasn't The Onion and it was like a real source. But Kim Yo-jong, who is Kim Jong-un's sister, publicly defended sending the balloons and said that they were, quote, sincere presents sent to, quote, the goblins of liberal democracy who are crying for the guarantee of freedom of expression.
Okay, then that's nice. Happy birthday. Here's some balloons. Again, we do not take you seriously. Save that shit.
I guess that is the best present, the sincere present you can give to the goblins of liberal democracy. Like, everyone knows. Just give them balloons of shit.
Just give them balloons of shit. And then some reading.
An Australian woman revealed a prank that she played on her brother this week that I want to get your take on, Anthony. Fair or unfair? When this woman's brother got out of prison, she sprinkled the ashes of her late grandmother into a pasta sauce and fed it to her brother without telling him.
This is mean. And again, when I saw the story originally and it was like, I ate my nan. This is a very British
she
thing.
said, I ate my nan. It's Australian, but yeah.
Okay, my nan. I thought it was the piece, like, to kill the mom and then cut her up and then put her in the sauce. Ashes in the sauce is not that bad. I don't know why she told him afterwards that the nan was in there. But I would rather eat nan ashes than eat chunks of nan.
Well, that's, but how about neither? How about neither?
You don't love your nan?
I love both my nans. I mean, I didn't get to know them that well.
Why would you, coming out of prison, I would not think that my sister was going to put my nan's ashes in my food. I would think that wouldn't be where you get it. Was she still mad at him for something from prison? Was it
in prison
like
for killing her nan?
No.
Okay. I was like, oh, Aaron knows something because it seems like a prank on Nan. Hey, I made your son eat you.
Well, she actually didn't in this interview disclose whether she even told her brother or not. That part is a little confusing to me. But she said she's actually become a little addicted to it. It wasn't the first time that she did this. She's had Nan before, and she suggested to her mom, because Nan is her grandmother, but previously that we should sprinkle her ashes on some of the pasta, and they did it. The mom agreed to do it together. They had the pasta, and then she didn't tell the brother and did that part, I guess, as a prank. But she's kind of into it.
I mean, it's not the word prank's being thrown on a lot. I think it just sounds kind of fucked up. It's not really a prank. Haha, gotcha. And those ashes, that's just like what's off the crematorium floor. Like, it's not just your person. in there. It's a lot of other stuff in there that I wouldn't think, oh, I'm ingesting the flesh of my nan. And it also makes me think, though, that I used to think when I did my will a few years ago, I'm going to have it redone after this tour, I wanted like the most environmentally friendly body disposal, which was just like you get put in, I think actually I get like dissolved in liquid and bones ground up or whatever. But now I think I want to get burned up. I want to be ashes, even though that's not as environmentally friendly. It's still okay. So you're not being buried. But I want my ashes in a cup, and I would like someone. Do you know those things? It looks like a Pringles can, and you open it up, and a snake jumps out.
Yeah.
I want one of those. Only I want someone to put my ashes in the top of it, so that when someone opens it, my ashes and the snake fly into their face. That's what I want done with my ashes, and I don't give a fuck who opens it.
Is it someone you love or someone you hate?
Someone I hate would be nice, but also someone that I just like didn't really care about would be just as funny. That if I was just like, Greg, here are the ashes, here's the can with a snake in it, you put it together and you decide who gets ashed. Who are you giving it to?
Jonathan Jeter, maybe.
Oh, you're going like an old college friend. I think it'd be funny to be like Jerry Seinfeld. Be like, here, like one last little prank, or to like give it to like Jimmy Kimmel and be like, open this on the show tonight. It's one last joke from Anthony. I think would be very funny.
Those would be much better. I don't know why you were saying it would be fun. When you just said that you didn't even want it to be an enemy, you just wanted it to be someone as random as possible. I just tried to think of a random college buddy, but maybe that wasn't even random enough.
I'm thinking like random, like a celebrity.
Yes.
Like, oh, Cameron Diaz. Like, good thing I ran into you here, and then watch the prank. Last headline, and I mean it.
For our last headline, we are going to talk about a whale that recently washed ashore on Nehalem Bay State Park in Oregon, and people there, and I believe we do have a picture of this whale, want to blow it up. And, we've talked about the incident. I think it's been 50 years since that famous news story where they blew up the whale, and people are hoping, let's do it again. Blow up the whale.
I think it's funny. It's like when they say an online contest to name something, and they name it like Bodie McBoatface, like they just do something dumb. I can see people being really on board. Kind of in the same way they're on board with Trump being president. They're on board with blowing up the whale. We know it didn't go well last time, but it's funny that we would ask for it. Let's do it again. Let's get what's that Jared Leto movie where he's a Morbius back in theaters? It's that kind of thing. I support it. I don't understand why they don't just light it on fire. Isn't like it's all like whale fat? Wouldn't it just like burn up pretty? If you just covered it in gasoline and burned it, wouldn't that be the end of it?
I don't know. They smell. It's hard to get rid of. Why is there? I guess it's just so huge. And if you put the picture up again, you can just see how crazy it is. Why couldn't you just drag it back into the water and then nature would take care of it and it'd feed a lot of fishes and stuff?
I got to think, yeah, maybe if you got like a dump truck and picked it up and brought it over, maybe I think it would probably just wash right back up into the shore.
Wait, just put it into a dump truck?
That's the best way it can go out. And now it's time for
Choo-choo.
recommendation station. Greg, what do you got this week?
All right. I'm going to recommend a book called When We Cease to Understand the World by Benjamin Labatut. I don't know. Chilean author. It's translated. A book unlike any other that I've read. Was a National Book Award finalist and a top 10 New York Times book from 2021. You never recommended this, did you? Okay. It's hard to describe, but it's about a number of scientific discoveries and the scientists who made them and how often the process of making them led to madness or close to it, and often led to like some destruction of the world around him. It's like some World War I stuff. It was written in 2021, but almost feels like could be another chapter of Oppenheimer. Has its almost the same sort of horror movie feel to it of like what is to come from what these men are doing. It's hard to describe. It's kind of nonfiction, but then he starts taking liberties with some of these stories and also makes it fiction. One of the blurbs at the back said that he thinks Labattut created an entire new genre of book, which I get after reading this. It's very hard to explain, but it's a hell of a book. I enjoyed it. Again, it's When We Cease to Understand the World by Benjamin Labattut. And I didn't really understand part of the book. It's fine. It's fine to not understand parts of it. It was still cool as hell.
Cool. Sounds good. Let it wash over you. I'm excited to recommend this banger as my final of the first 250. I just got it in yesterday. I got an advanced copy, and I read it in 2 sittings. It is a banger. I'm giving it to you, Greg, right now.
Ooh.
It is Parade, the new novel from Rachel Cusk. Yeah, Rachel Cusk. Parade. It is great. It is, her last book was great. Second place. But I didn't love it as much as I loved the Outline trilogy. This is a very Outline trilogy feel to it. Amazing conversations. There's one tour de force of a dinner in here. Again, it's 200 pages. I read it in 2 sittings. I loved it. I'm going to buy the hardcover when it comes out, and I will give this to Greg to enjoy in our time off. Aaron, you got anything to recommend before we bail?
I know Greg doesn't like when I do this, but I'm going to recommend the Stanley Cup Finals.
Ooh,
I like it.
The Oilers made it against the Florida Panthers. It's going to be a hell of a series. Go Oilers.
Are you rooting for the Oilers? See, I like Connor McDavid, but I love Sidney Crosby. And so if David gets his cup, then everyone's like forgetting Crosby. If he doesn't get it, they're like, what's wrong with McDavid? So I got to say, it's hard to root for Florida. Yes, of course. But if he never gets one, you can't put him in that conversation. So I'd like to see them win. I like the Oilers. I don't have anything tied to Florida, the Panthers, but yeah, it'll be a good. I've watched the last couple rounds. It'll be nice. So yeah, enjoy your hockey, and Aaron, it'll be nice to see you again in a couple months.
Yeah.
Stay in touch, guys. We love you. I'm gonna be international. Come and see me, and I hope you enjoy the special. I've just put in the final cut, final edit to Netflix, and whoever.
A streaming service. I forget who I sent it to. I sent it to Hulu, Amazon, Netflix,
Your dad.
YouTube, my dad, BCC, and then we'll see where it ends up. But we love you. We'll be back. Thank you guys. And now, Walker. I'll see you soon, buddy. Get me out of here.
Whoa, Nelly Focaccia, that's a spicy meatball.